joined by Spicy Jan from Tasty Road Trips. Hi, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Patty. Thanks for having me. It's so nice to see you.
It is nice to meet you. I've seen your face a lot, but we've never been able to have a conversation, so it's good that we can do this today. Tell me a little bit about where did Spicy Jan come from?
That's a great question. Do you know what people might not realize about me is that I worked a side hustle in the gourmet food space for 12 years. And what that means is that I was going into people's homes. I worked for 2 different companies based out west. But I was going into people's homes and I was teaching them about cooking, food ideas, quick and easy ways to feed their family. And because I was working with food, and some of it were spices and seasonings, people would often say to me, "Which spice girl are you?" And this started like 12 years ago. So, for a while it was like, oh, I'm baby spice, I'm posh spice, I'm sporty spice. And it kind of got old. I was like, I don't really want to be really one of the spice girls. I want to be my own spice girl. And somebody one day said, "You should be Spicy Jan." And I was like, yeah. And I knew it stuck when I was in the grocery store one day. And this was years ago. And a lady who had been to one of my tastings saw me in the grocery store. And she was running down the meat aisle saying, "Spicy Jan." And I was like, okay, I think we have something. So it's been a really long time. And Spicy Jan is just an easy way for me to know that usually we're going to be talking about food.
And out of that, you started Tasty Road Trips. So tell me how that came to be and what it's all about.
Oh, thanks for asking. It's a really interesting evolution that was just very organic. As I said, I worked in the gourmet food space for 12 years, and because of some of the success that I had nationally, I earned some really amazing incentive trips in some beautiful destinations around the world. And because I was working for a food company, every time we would go on a destination trip, they would treat us to a food tour. So I didn't really have the concept of food tourism before I started earning these delicious trips. And so I really started to understand how important a food tour was to a community, to the local people. I had done some great tastings from, high-end fine dining to street food to just mom and pop shops where, mom was making something just on the corner with her little ones there, and how important that was to her family and her community. So I've had some amazing food experiences globally. And then because I live in rural Ontario, I grew up in the big city, so I understand that concept. But I live in rural Ontario, and I live in Brantford, and all of my shopping, I noticed one day, not one day, but over a period of time, I realized that everything I was doing was in the county, was in Paris. And I was like, okay, everything that I need or want is here. And all of a sudden, I learned about food tourism, and I learned about the Airbnb Experiences platform. And I said to my husband one day, I think I'm going to do food tours in Paris. He was like, okay. I talked to ECDev, I talked to tourism. I was like, so hey, I'm Spicy Jan. I'm going to do food tours in Paris. And they were like, okay. But the concept of food tourism is usually in a bigger center, not in a rural community. So it really wasn't, they were great. Everyone was great about it, but they thought, okay, you go girl, like go Spicy Jan, you do your thing. Anyways, it ended up that on a cold, so I had this idea, I talked to a lot of the food providers on a cold Saturday in January of 2018. My first 2 guests arrived, and they came from the big city of Toronto, and they wanted to get out of the city to come to a rural community and go on a food tour. So it was really very organic. If I hadn't have done what I was doing in the gourmet food space, I would have never understood the value to the community of food tourism.
And so what are some of the tours you offer? I know this area is rich with farms and wonderful restaurants. So what kind of places do you take people to?
Sure. So one of the different tours that we have is the Sips and Eats road trip. So that's food, farmers, chefs, and we go to some great areas in the community. We have a Brant Brew tour, which goes to our great brewery and a cider farm as well. And then we've got the Progressive Dinner Tour. So the Progressive Dinner Tour, I've got a walk-in where we do restaurants, do a sip, an app, an entree, and dessert. And we also have the Progressive Dinner and Driving Tour. And that way we can go to some different areas of Brantford-Brant and see different restaurants and a brewery as well. What I wanted to share is that what's super cool is because of social media and because of people letting others know about our tours, what started to organically happen, Patty, is that people would say, hey, Jan, so I want to do a tour, but I want to pull these elements that I saw on social into my tour. So now we custom curate tours for people. They can be from 2 hours to 6 hours, and we've done all kinds of crazy things. It's so fun.
That's amazing and so wonderful to have that happening locally. Now we're faced with COVID-19 and social distancing, and restaurants aren't open. Some are open for takeout. You've had to readjust, and it sort of turned on its head in some ways. How have you changed your approach, and what are you doing to still highlight local food and beverages?
Mm-hmm. Well, with Tasty Road Trips, I work with over 45 different destination hosts in Brantford and Brant. And every one of those hosts are really important to me. We built a relationship. I didn't know them before, but through food has built a community. And I realized when doors started closing that I wanted to still support those beautiful people that are behind those doors that we walk into in any way that I could. My first, very easy way to support them was by shouting them out on social media. Anybody who was open with the delivery pickup, as they adjusted, I wanted to pour that quietly behind the scenes. But then what happened is, I realized that we're all at home, folks are at home, and not to be insensitive to what's happening, to the trauma that's going on in the world, but try to bring some joy. Joy to some of the folks that really value and appreciate our tours and how much it means to them to be part of our tours, but then also to the destination hosts on the other side. So what I realized is I need to pivot my business, and I wanted to take it to the virtual platform to say, hey, why don't we get together? Some of my destination hosts will come in, and everybody's taking turns, and they're all being so amazing. And then we've had guests come in, so they sign up on the tastyroadtrips.com website. And so we've been doing virtual happy hour. I've had guests come in from Japan. I have a guest on Sunday night from Costa Rica coming in, Squamish, British Columbia, from Peru, amazing reach that we're having, and it's just bringing joy to people. And now we're taking it a step further with doing a daytime that's family friendly and allows us to do some rural connecting and show, all ages who are at home right now on a Monday at 11 a.m., show them what goes on a farm, show them some of the highlights of rural Ontario.
That's really incredible and a wonderful learning opportunity for kids too. That's different than, it's almost like the virtual education component, but everybody loves to see animals and machinery. It's always an enjoyable thing for kids to see that. So kudos to you for putting that together. And just lastly, what is your Tour to Go?
So Tour to Go, well, that's the brand that I've decided to use. That's a little bit different than my live tours. Tour to Go will mean it's a virtual tour. Tour to Go, so we've got a Tour to Go happy hour tour, we've got a Tour to Go rural tour, and watch for some new fun things coming for Tour to Go brand. Just let you know, it's sort of post-COVID and something that we're doing to pivot and bring our followers, our community, our global community, something to really feel excited about, plugging into. It's not work. It's not tricky. You don't have to plan it. Just click the link and we'll take care of it for you. And that's really what our guests love, is that they get to show up, just arrive as they are. We're very accepting, and just show them a good time. And that's the whole intention of what Tour to Go is all about.
That's incredible and really well needed, because so many people are feeling disconnected from everything, and it's either work or parenting or taking care of your parents, and not a lot of enjoyable things other than watching TV. So I think that'll be a great thing for people to tap into. So how do they find out more?
Right, so really easy. You can go to the tastyroadtrips.com, so tastyroadtrips.com, and as soon as you come up to the tastyroadtrips.com, you will see all the tours offered. The first two are Tour to Go. It's very simple. There's no cost. There's no sign up. All it allows you to do is, one, we can plug in with you, and two, to make sure that you enjoyed the tour, and two, be able to give you that Zoom link, because it is limited. We are capping it at a certain number. And just a little tip. Can I tell you a hot tip, Patty?
Absolutely.
So on our Tour to Go wheel, we have a sponsor, a local sponsor, who is giving away free ice cream to everyone who is on that tour. So we do have that opportunity to be able to highlight some of our great local businesses as well. So watch for that. That's going to be really fun for anybody who's booked in.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your energy and enthusiasm toward this. That's very well needed with our restaurant and farming industry locally, and much appreciated. And so people can find you at Tasty Road Trips, and good luck to you, and stay safe and healthy.
Thank you so much, Patty.